All right. So first of all, there are currently only two fields here, one for the name and one for the email address. However, if somebody were to contact us on our page, they certainly would also have a message for us. So let's add a third field, which allows the contactor to leave a message as well. In order to do so, I am going to select the add elements again, and I'm going to scroll down to forms and then select the text area. And I'm going to drop that below the email address. And then I'm going to give this field a name. Let's call it message. And then let's also give it a label like the ones have above. In order to do that, I'm going to scroll down again and select the label and drag and drop it in here and call it your message. And now we can also add some placeholders here, for example, your email and your name. We can also say which fields are required. Maybe we can leave name not required, it's voluntary, but let's set also our message to required. Otherwise, we are not very interested in getting contacts without any message. Okay, the next thing, let's give this button some styling. And in order to do that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to give it the classic button styling. And then this form looks very long. It's stretched all throughout the size of the container. If we preview this, this is definitely too big. Let's manually shrink this form. And in order to do that, I am going to select the div element in which we dropped this form early on. And I'm going to give it a class name. And let's give that some padding of, let's say, 20% on the left-hand side and 20% on the right-hand side. And that's going to manually limit the size of our form. There we go. And it looks already a lot better. Now we could create some more space here. Let's do that quickly. And in order to do that, I am just having to select the contact form section and give it a padding of, say, 60 pixels at the top and maybe a bottom padding of 100 pixels at the bottom. Now let's quickly add our standard other sections, the get guide section below. There we go, and our footer as well. And then our page is more or less complete already. Now there are just two small changes what I want to do. First of all, I think I did a mistake here. This your message is a bit too much. I'm just going to change that to message. And then let's take a look at the settings of this form. In order to do that, I'm going to select the form block and go to settings. And let's change the form name to contact form. And then there are certain states. This is what's going to be displayed once the user has successfully submitted the form. And this is what's going to be displayed once there's an error in submitting the form. For example, because the user hasn't entered his email address. If we want, we can style them. We could, for example, give this a different background color if we wanted to. However, I don't think this is necessary. There we go. So we could change the text background color. However, I'm just going to leave it as it is currently. And let's publish everything and then test how it looks and how it works on the page actually itself. Let's swap back to the normal one and then test the page. And in order to test the page, we actually need to do one more change because there's currently no way of us getting to the page. So let's go about and change the navigation settings and make the contact link to the contact page. There we go. Publish it again. And now if we hit contact, we get redirected to our contact page. Let's submit the form, and you should now receive an email from Webflow with the contents of this form. You can find the same information as well if you go into your site settings, project settings, and go to forms, and there we should see that there was one form submission, and on our free plan currently there are 50 form submissions per month, and if you upgrade to hosting, this increases as well. All right, that's it for forms. Let's go back to Designer, and there is one slight change we need to do to the navigation bar, and otherwise I think we have completed the next page as well. And the small change I want to do to the navigation bar is if you go to our page again and you see that currently we are on the contact page, and that means the contact is displayed in a different color. I don't like that color. Let's go about and change that. In order to do so, let's swap back to our contact page. That allows us to easier edit this navigation bar. And if you double click into the nav bar and then select the nav link, again, since we are on the current page to which this link is currently linking, it's going to add this current class to it. And let's go about and edit this. I'm going to remove this standard settings. I'm going to make the text black again. And then I'm going to make sure that the text is actually underlined. This gives it a subtle hint that this is the current page we are on. However, the text color stays black. Let's go about and publish this again and test everything. There we go. I think this looks already a lot better. Otherwise, I'm happy with the contact form as it is currently.